freshness and making the perfect balance. Crazy amount of fish in here. Like, hey guys, welcome to Jung's table. And now we have a Korean dish called Mulhoe. And Mul means water, and Hue means it's a Korean word for sashimi. So it's basically raw fish inside of water. And when you see this, it's like literally a fish inside an ice cold broth, and depending on which restaurant you go, they might actually serve the ice instead of the broth. And I'm going to make a very bold statement where Mulhoe is very one-of-a-kind dish, and I bet there won't be any dish similar to this around the world, not even in Japan. Now, Mulhoe is a very common dish, and you can commonly find it in coastal areas of Korea like Pohang, Jeju, Sokcho, and Busan. And they each have slight regional differences, and they usually use fish that's just commonly caught and abundant in their area. So for example, Jeju Mulhoe usually uses hanchi. It's a type of squid, but a little more like tangy and chewy. Sokcho also uses squid, but just the regular squid we know. And Pohang uses a variety of fish, usually what's left over from the market that day. Broth is also kind of different for each region. And today we have the Pohang style, and they're known for their almost no broth, almost bibim. It's like mixing up bibim Mulhoe. And I specifically prepared this Pohang style because Pohang is recognized as the capital of Mulhoe to Koreans. So how was this dish born? We don't really know exactly, but it's commonly believed that it's just for the fishermen who were too busy and couldn't really cook on the boats. So they would just chop the fish and then add some sauce with some water and make a cold broth. And that's how the Mulhoe began. And I think that's why the ingredient and then the broth style also varies from region by region, because it's just how they started eating it with whatever was available to them. But among those cities, Pohang is recognized as the capital of Mulhoe for several reasons. There was a first restaurant that served Mulhoe instead of just among the fishermen or among the marketplace people. And second, it's because Pohang was known for its fish industry, especially during the Japanese colonization, where they really made the fish industry a thing in Pohang. People didn't know what to do with the leftover fish, and that's why I think they started selling more Mulhoe in that area. But as I just said, this is a dish that was born in the seas, so instead of about the recipes, it was more about what will work for them, and more about the time and the spontaneity and what will fill them up. And now that more people know Mulhoe, and it's one of the must-eats when you go to a coastal area, they made it more flashy and more attractive to the tourists. And one of them is making it more sweet, so it arouses that appetite you might lose on a hot summer sun. And second is the decoration part, and that's why some restaurants use this literal ice mixed with the sauce instead of the water broth. Honestly, it's my first time trying the Pohang style Mulhoe, so I'm kind of excited and nervous at the same time, because I'm also used to that watery or ice broth Mulhoe and not just this kind of like the mixing one, so I don't know how it's gonna go. So I think I see some pears and seaweed and cucumbers along with some fish. Let's have our first bite. You know what the most Korean thing to do is whenever you're eating something like looks like a noodle, or when you mix it up, you instantly blow, although you know it's kind of cold. This definitely isn't the type of Mulhoe I'm used to. Definitely less sweet, and then the only sweetness I think is coming from the pear. I think this type of Mulhoe, I think the fish itself is the main, while the other ones I was eating, like all the flashy with more ingredients, they even have abalone and sea urchins. Are you crazy? That's the type of Mulhoe I was eating, and then having this, I feel like this is a whole new dish. Now, I heard there's a local nickname to this Mulhoe, and it's a cold alcohol soup. In Korean, it's chansulguk, word by word for its literal translation. And at first, I mean, I do also enjoy soju with the Mulhoe, but I didn't really get why they would like appraise Mulhoe with soju. But having this, I think I kind of get it why, because the ones I was having, all the flashy and cool Mulhoe thing, I thought that was for more hangover instead of the drink along, because you kind of wake up and refresh along with the ice cold broth. But this, since the fish is the main character, I guess, you get that oily flavor from the fish, and you get that variety of texture with the fish and then the pear and the cucumber. So I think definitely this is more like a food you would eat along with the drink. Now let's have just one more bite. And when I got this, they gave me extra sauce with the rice, and they told me to pour half a cup of water and mix it with the sauce before I add the rice in. And that was another new thing for me because I usually eat noodles with my mure, not rice. And I thought with rice, wouldn't it be like all weird? Rice in that like the sweet and sour cold broth with all the crazy ingredients. But having the Pohang style mure, I definitely get why they recommended the rice instead of the noodle and told me to add a little bit of water into the sauce before mixing it. It's because this is just 회 bibimbap instead of like mure. So I think this, so I'm also pretty excited for this version. Now let's start mixing it up. It kind of looks like the 회 bibimbap, but there is actually a dish called 회 덮밥 in Korea. So if you search that up and then see this right next to next, then I think you would really get what I mean. I wonder if it tastes similar too though. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering what this red sauce is, it's 초장. It's like a sweet and little sour version of gochujang, but Koreans eat it a lot with just all sorts of seafood. Actually, after that I mixed it, it kind of looks kind of like daunting to try. It's way better than I thought, way beyond my expectation. And I think they gave me cold rice, and that was like, at first bite, it was kind of surprising to eat a cold rice. But I think that was actually a smart move because adding warm bowl of rice in here would have like messed it up with the whole thing. No, I really get why the Pohang people enjoy this original style, no water, just more like this mixed up version of mure. And also why they usually pair it with a drink. I know it's kind of hard to see through the screen, but crazy amount of fish in here. Like all this is just fish. And when you put it in your mouth and every bite you take, it's just full of that fish and that, I don't know, like the freshness, and some parts of it are really oily, so that oil pops out too. And then that's when the pear kicks in and making the perfect balance. Pohang version definitely beats all other versions of mure. So I guess simply put, a very quick example or comparison of the two types of mure I just talked about is the Pohang style, I just said it's more like bibimbap. But the other side, more watery and the more brothy one, you can think of it as a little spicy but more sweet and sour with sashimi on top, naengmyeon. Have you tried naengmyeon? I bet you did, or you should if you haven't, and just go to a K barbecue restaurant and then I think most of them will have naengmyeon in there. And it's like adding that 물 naengmyeon's broth into that bibim naengmyeon sauce, but you just add sashimi on top. And then the noodles, you will change that buckwheat noodle to like just a flour-based noodle. I think if you imagine it like that way, you will kind of guess what I'm talking about, the other kind of mure. But this, I mean, I've never tried it too, but I think it's worth paying a visit to actual Pohang and having their authentic and real Pohang style mure. So today we discovered fisherman's soul food on the boat to everyone's favorite summer food in Korea. And if you enjoyed today's video, please like and subscribe and wait for the next. Thank you and goodbye.